maybe I'm not objective when it comes to Planned Parenthood, but you know, I know who Margaret Sanger is, and I know that she believed in eugenics and that she was not particularly enamored with black people, and one of the reasons that you find most of their clinics in black neighborhoods is so that you can find a way to control that population.
Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. That, of course, was GOP candidate and former Johns Hopkins University neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson speaking yesterday on Your World with Neil Kavuta, where he argued that Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger essentially created the organization to control the black population in this country. Dr. Carson went on to say that Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton has gone on record saying she admires Mrs. Sanger, and so did Nazi Germany. Planned Parenthood has been a hot topic issue since the release of those viral videos describing the process of procuring fetal tissue for sale. Is Dr. Carson just throwing bombs here, so to speak, or does he actually have a valid point on this, Joe?
I think he does.
I think he does too.
He grew up in inner city Detroit to a single mom, an illiterate single mom, and rose to where he is now. And he was a trouble kid as well. So he knows inner cities certainly, and he's another guy like a Sanders and like a Trump to a certain extent that speaks from the hip. He's obviously not a politician and is a genuine deal. And I think in this case, when I first heard it, I said, well, what's he talking about? And then I really looked into it more, and he may have a point.
Well, he totally has a point, Heather. I mean, Sanger absolutely was into eugenics.
Absolutely.
There's a long history of it. And by the way, Hillary Clinton did, in accepting the Margaret Sanger Award, say she admired Margaret Sanger, which is a little bit shocking. But here's the question I have to ask you. That was a very long time ago. Is it fair to hold Planned Parenthood of today responsible for that all the way back then?
I think that we're seeing a piling on because of everything that's going on. And with each video that comes out, I think it's easier and easier to say that this is an evil institution. I think right now what Planned Parenthood has to do is be transparent, open up everything for investigation so that people can parse out whether the abortion part of what they do should be eliminated, which I personally, given what we've seen so far, think is the case.
Amy?
As we're discussing, Margaret Sanger did have a history of supporting eugenics. She also called African Americans and immigrants, I have it written down, human weeds, reckless breeders, spawning human beings who never should have been born. She spoke at a rally of KKK women. This history about Margaret Sanger is well established, including being admitted by the Smithsonian Museum that has her bust on display. However, I don't think that you need to necessarily impute a conspiratorial motive with Planned Parenthood now, but rather address that abortion is an epidemic in the African American community. African American women are 4 times more likely to have an abortion, or have abortions at 4 times the rate as white women. And I think to get to the root causes of that is very important for African Americans and in the issue of abortion and choice.
And for the sake of clarity, I want to say the reason we made the reference to Nazi Germany is they too were very supportive of eugenics. Now, the U.S. government is warning states not to defund Planned Parenthood, saying that states who do so would be illegally preventing women from accessing health care services. Heather, there are already a number of states going back a number of years that did defund Planned Parenthood. There's a couple more this week, I think, who said that they intend to. What are the legalities of this?
Well, listen, they're going to have to, if you're taking away a right, you're going to have to find another way to provide that right, or else you're going to be arguably violating due process and those types of things.
Well, is it a right?
Well, the right to health care, you know, we've got right now.
It's actually not a constitutional right.
It is not, but once you've been given a right, there are legalities with then taking away that right without providing another outlet for it. But you've got to then weigh that against the illegalities that are going on at Planned Parenthood.
Well, allegedly.
We do this every time, though, Rick, because here's the thing.
The
profit thing hasn't been proven, but on every video, I'm writing about this because I'm so frustrated by it, on every video they admit to changing the way that they're doing the abortions. That is illegal.
Depends on the circumstance.
It doesn't.
It may be illegal.
No, it is illegal. Look up the Revitalization Act.
Well, how come no one's been charged?
Because no one is talking. They're focused on the profit part. It is illegal. And then on top of that, we learned in the most recent video that they're also not getting the women's informed consent. That too is violating the act.
Is illegal.
And absolutely. So we know that it's illegal, and we have to weigh that against, you know, providing the funding for that type of thing. I think the best thing to do would be to take away the funding for the abortions, allow the funding for any positive.
The problem is,
We
the problem
don't-
is that funding is
it's not-
fungible.
yeah, and
So
it's-
it's already illegal for abortions, but it could be what's keeping the lights on for those abortions to be
You
performed.
can't say take
But
it away
why-
because it's already been taken
I
away.
don't
Now,
know.
they may
So-
be mixing it,
Right.
but
That's
it's been taken
So
away.
what we know is the Department of Health and Human Services is warning New Hampshire, which is was going to attempt to take away funding from Planned Parenthood, that Medicaid recipients have the right to spend those dollars at any approved medical provider. Now, the question I have in terms of that narrow language is, can a state say that Planned Parenthood is no longer an approved medical provider?
No, it's amazing, Rick.
They should be.
It's been, I think, 6 days since the last Planned Parenthood video from that group.
No,
They've been
yesterday.
doing a pace
think
of
there was
every
one
5
There's one
yesterday.
There was one
yesterday. There's one
yesterday.
It didn't get a lot of publicity.
No,
though.
it didn't.
So
and it
we'll
should've.
we'll continue this, no doubt, tomorrow. What do you think about Dr. Carson's comments on Planned Parenthood? Should they be relevant to Planned Parenthood today? Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Let us know what you think. Coming up next, time to read your viewer comments.